Nancy Pelosi is asked about extension of unemployment benefits. And her response is, I want to ensure that Santa Claus gets everything he needs. Nancy, Santa Claus doesn't work in August. Good afternoon, everybody. This is LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. This is Afternoons LALATE, our 2-hour programming block that starts every day at 3:30 with a check, then goes to hazard pay. I'm still thinking about Santa Claus. Then FPUC, and then rent eviction moratoriums. Really shocking news minutes ago about FPUC, which is now LWA, UI, and PUA. Let me get right to the details. Nancy Pelosi convened today to do a vote on the post office. But after that vote, or around the time of the vote, she met with members of press. And one reporter, which I detailed in the first stimulus check video about an hour ago, was that there is a movement among about 400 Democrats calling for a standalone bill for an extension of FPUC. That's $600 from the federal government. And why doesn't she do it? If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I first detailed it on Friday and Thursday. Two different groups of Democrats in her party, in the House and the Senate. One called the Blue Dog Democrats, not Blue Man Group, although, maybe Caesars will call. And then the New Age Coalition. I love their music. It's very earthy. Just New Age is like they do. There's a trans Democrats also, but I don't know where they are. And they both wrote her letter saying, Nancy, you got to do a standalone bill for unemployment benefits extension of FPUC. You need to do it right now. Her response was, my priority is to ensure that little girls send letters to Santa and that he gets them. Yeah, she actually said that. I'm not making a joke there. She actually said that with a straight face, just like how I did it. There should be term limits for anyone after a certain time. I think her expiration time was 20 years ago. This is literally insanity. Let me explain to you. This video is going to explain to you, because I got a lot of wonderful questions about what type of benefits you can get, what type of benefits you can get backwards, retroactive, and what type of benefits you can get forward. I haven't done this video in about 2 weeks, so I'm going to do it right now. So if you're on UI, if you're on PUA, if you're on FPUC or LWA, you need to get a pen and paper, get it ready, and I'm going to go over with you what you need to ensure that you're getting the benefits you need to have. First, I'm going to start from the very beginning, which is, have you even applied to get on UI or PUA? If you haven't, do it ASAP. I've told you the importance of getting on the system if you are impacted. Which one is which? UI is for employees. PUA is for independent or solo practitioners. What does that mean? If you own your own business, PUA. This side will be PUA for the purposes of the camera. This side is employees. If you work for Macy's, UI. If you work for yourself, PUA. If you work for Uber, if you drive for Uber and Lyft, PUA, which is, I know it's a big issue of contention. I'll just say some states want to mess this up and sue in court. You are PUA for purposes of law at the moment until, I don't know, Airbnb, Uber Eats, all that type of stuff. P is PUA. All right, so how do you apply and where do you apply? You go to your state's unemployment website. Every state has their own unemployment website. You apply online. There's some cases in which you can apply over the phone, but most people prefer to apply online. All right, you go to the website. You set up a username, you set up a password. You have your name, you have your social security number. I gotta respond to this question because I used to get this back in the day. I've been doing these videos since April 25th. I did the very first day of this channel, I did PUA on the very first day. PUA wasn't even live. So you can see how many of these videos I've done. Like, I don't know, 500, 400. I've done a lot of PUA videos. you need to set up a username and password of your social security number. You can't go back into the system and do multiple accounts. And some viewers have done that. That is a waste of time. Don't do that. You have one name and one account, and that's it. All right, so you go in there, and this is what's important to understand to start. By law, to be eligible for PUA, you have to have been rejected for UI. Why? Because independent contractors cannot be employees. Pretty simple. So the way states do it is some of them have you apply for the UI application separately to get a denial before doing the PUA application. Other states do it as one application together. It's important to remember the following factors. And this is why I asked you to get a pen and paper. If you haven't got it, rush to the kitchen, turn me on, megaphone, turn me on speakerphone. It's like you hear the purple kid from the other room, and then run back in, because this is going to be a detailed instructional video. This is not going to be about Nancy and her scarves, or Jovita and her, wardrobe. When you apply for PUA, you'll be asked a lot of questions like employment. Answer is none. Employer, none. Employee, none. You have to understand that as an independent contractor, there's no employment. That invokes a W-2 situation, which is this side. And I know some of you work for your own business, like, Steve works for Steve Plumbing, and Jason works for Jason Electric. Well, that's not how they look at it. So you have to always say no, 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 no if you're on the PUA side. All right, so you go through the application process. If you're PUA, you get that denial for UI, and then you start the PUA process, however it starts. When you go through it, this is singularly the most important thing I've told viewers for literally every single day since the start of this channel. I think this is probably the most important item of advice I've ever given on this channel, because it's thousands and thousands of dollars that could result in a mistake. You have to list the first date of impact from COVID-19. So if you go and apply today, which is what, August 21st, August 22nd, if you go and apply today and ask you what the date of impact is from COVID-19, if it's not today, don't put today. If it's March 20th because there was a lockdown issued in your city which stopped you from working, then it's March 20th. What you need to understand is that to be eligible for UI and PUA, you don't necessarily have to have a complete shutdown. For example, for PUA, one of the elements of criterion for eligibility, you are eligible for PUA, is if you have a reduction for work because of COVID-19. So for example, let's say you normally work 45 hours a week, but we're only working 11 hours a week because of COVID-19, you qualify for PUA. What date is that? If it's March 20th, and you don't put March 20th, and you put August 20th, guess what you just did to yourself? Let's do the math. I'll give you the verb first. You screwed yourself. Now let's do the math. How much did I screw myself? Okay, March, April, May, June, July, August. 7 months. If I did that right, 6 months, 7 months, I don't know. Doing math on camera is not that easy. 6 months. I'm holding up 6 fingers. I'm holding up 6 fingers if I count 7 months. That's even worse. 6 months times 4 weeks in the month. Yeah, there's 4 weeks in a month unless you're Larry Kudlow. 24 weeks. 24 weeks at what? Like $700 a week if we include an FPUC in California. Okay, $800 a week. I mean, it's just insane. It's an insane amount of money. You could do the math. 800 times 24 weeks that you just made a mistake about. Okay, what if you want to fix the mistake? That's like getting Nancy Pelosi to change her stimulus package negotiation skills. It's insanely difficult. So don't mess up. That's what I've talked about so many times since the start of this channel. Don't mess up that mistake. All right, so you go through the process. You do that for UI. You do that for PUA. And then you get that wonderful message. Hi, you're eligible. Ooh. So it will say something like you're eligible from March 20th to December 20th. It looks at a calendar year or a fiscal year. So it may go to March to December, or may go to March. Okay, I remember one viewer back in the day, the OG time of this channel, back in, I think it was May. He got very heated because I did answer his question. I used to read questions on camera. I read like 200 questions in a 20-minute video, and I missed his question once or twice. Finally, I saw it the next time, and he's like, "Listen, I keep on watching your videos, and I followed your advice. I'm eligible. How come I haven't got any money? How come I haven't got any money and I'm eligible?" So I read his question on camera, and I said, "Okay. Did you certify for benefits? It doesn't look from your question like you certified for benefits. This is what you need to do, viewer. You need to go into the button that says certify for benefits, and I'm telling you this because you need to do this. This is your next step. After you've been accepted into the system and you're now eligible, you need to go certify for benefits. It will start at the first week. So if your first week of eligibility is March 20th, it'll start at March 20th. You're sitting here in August, it'll start at March 20th. And it'll say, okay, what happened in March 20th? Did you work? Did you have a thing? Did you do this? What happened? And so you'll go through those series of questions. And when you're done, it'll say, okay, thank you. Let's go to the next week. March 27th. What happened that week? Okay, thank you. Let's go to the next week. It'll keep on doing all those weeks, week after week after week, in the same visit on the internet. As you sit there, it won't let you leave the computer. Like, you have another week to look. I just only wanted to. No, you got to answer all my weeks. Just keep on doing the weeks. It'll do all those weeks. What did I tell you? 24 weeks. It'll have you do 24 weeks of questions. Yeah, if you want the money, you got to do the work. And you'll do week after week after week after week. And finally, it'll say, you're all caught up. Oh. At that point, then you go into your payment tab, and it'll show week starting March 20th, processing. Week starting March 27th, processing. So I said to the viewer, you need to go in and certify for all your weekly benefits. Well, the next day he came in, he says, what does that mean? Where do I do that? In the comments. And I said, you go up to the certification tab and you touch all those buttons, you certify for those weekly weeks. The next week he came back in the comments, he said, okay, I did that. Now it shows processing. What does that mean? It means that you get paid, just not, today. And then about 4 or 5 days later, he came in the comments, he's like, you're a godsend. I hadn't gotten any money for the system. I've been waiting around for a month. Now I had, what it was, I don't know, 5,000, 8,000. And there you go. I did hundreds of videos with viewers who waited through horrible ordeals of just Texas and Florida were absolutely debacles in getting checks out on time. They went months and months and months without paying a single penny. There are states that had computer hacks that shut their systems down. There are states that were just slow, like Hawaii. And I remember Eileen out of Florida, who I always remember her example. She was always in my PUA videos every day. I did this, LALATE, I did this. Still says processing, still says process. She waited with me and she waited with me. I waited with her. And it was a very long time. It wasn't April and May. It was, I think it was like late June. It was almost 3 months. And she said she woke up one morning and $8,000 in her account. Adam Neeler, my truck driver, who I broke down in tears early on in the first 30 days of this channel, his wife came from the mailbox and said, honey, I have a check for you. This is what his comment said. I have a check for you. He said, and she says $500. And he looks at the check and he's like, darling, that's not $500. That's $5,000. Our unemployment benefits got approved. So things take time, but when they get approved, it's thousands and thousands of dollars. If you're new to this channel, thank you for joining me. But I mean, early on, what I told my viewers who were doing EIDL loans, they were doing PPPs, they weren't going anywhere, they weren't getting money, they hadn't yet gotten their stimulus checks. I said, if you qualify for UI and PUA, get on it right away. Apply for as many things as you qualify and get on them right away. In the case of Adam Neeler, the truck driver, he had not gotten his loan, but watched my videos. He had lost hope, he said. And the same day he got that check for $5,000 for unemployment PUA, he got a $150,000 loan approved because of this channel. So you have to do things. All right, let me get to the other stuff I have to go over, which there's so much. So you go through these weeks of benefits. I have to make you very clear that you will get $600 a week for any week you certify from March all the way to July. So I don't care that we're in August. The way that the CARES Act is written, you'll get $600 a week for any week you work from March to July. That's what's called retroactive because it's backwards. Escalated benefits. You can do escalated benefits. I'm going to say them very quickly, so pay attention. Escalated benefits means that if you made over $30,000 gross revenue 2019, and it's on your tax return that way, you can apply to your state and say, hey, here is my gross rev, here's my tax return. I think I qualify for escalated benefits. And what are escalated benefits? They're generally maximum benefits. Google your state, maximum unemployment benefits, and there'll be a chart that'll come up every state. And the states generally are somewhere between $400 to $500 per week, maximum benefits. If you made over $30,000 last year, you generally are at maximum benefits. Once you're approved for that, it's a buttload of money. It really is. $500 plus, FPUC, that's what, $1,100 times 4 weeks, $4,000 or $5,000 a month. It's a lot of money you can get if you're eligible. So do that. Follow the advice. There's a lot of great self-help on all the unemployment websites. And then for July going forward, boy, I've done this video a lot the last 2 days. I'm not going to belabor the point. But the first few states that got on LWA are going to get the money. 3 weeks, $300. That's the most you're going to get. States of Montana and Kentucky are going to throw in an additional $100 per week. No other state has agreed to do that so far. The states past number 8 or 9 on approval from FEMA. FEMA has warned we may not have money for you. So I know what Governor Abbott of Texas has said. It's hogwash. If you're state number 20 coming into the system, that's highly unlikely you'll get any money according to FEMA's own guidance. Now, FEMA may be wrong. I'm just reporting to what FEMA said. But the important thing is you continue to certify for benefits, because I have reported that the Democrats and Republicans, when they get this crap done, are going to agree upon $400, $600 per week, FPUC, back to the date of July, all the way forward to the month of December. It's going to be a county nightmare, an absolute county nightmare. But basically, you should get whatever difference is of what you didn't get or what you did get for LWA. A lot of great information. I hope this video was helpful. Please go to the front of this channel and like and subscribe. I bless you and thank you dearly for last week. You reached us to 200,000 subscribers as a family. I can't imagine how many videos about PUA I've done, and UI and LWA. It has really been a godsend to be part of your family and you to be part of this family. The new goal is to reach 225,000 followers in the next 2 weeks. So I want to see if we can add about 25,000 followers in the next 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. This is Saturday. So let's see if we can do it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that alert button, share this video on Facebook, share it on Twitter, tell your friends to follow this channel. And coming up next is rent eviction. As always, stay informed, stay motivated, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.